Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shonen and Chill, hosted by Zenrotto and Oceaniz.
Hello, hello, my folks.
And not a whole lot going on this week, to be honest. Jujutsu Kaisen on break. Get
Yeah,
well soon,
uh,
Akutami.
yeah, unannounced break due to the author's bad physical condition. Get well soon. Uh, and yeah, no, this was a very, I know it felt like a very small week
I did. I
somehow.
mean, Dr. Stone is over, so that was gone
Yep.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was
Then we
very,
had,
very tame this week, we'll say.
yeah, we had two series that basically didn't produce a chapter, whose chapters were essentially filler. Um, also, wait, was Elusive Samurai
It
on
was.
this week, or was it on? As in, was it on break or?
No, it was a new chapter.
Oh, because I didn't read it. Oops, it didn't show up on my app. What the fuck?
No, it's in there. Yeah.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to review that one in that
Okay.
case.
Deal.
All right. Well, do we want to go into top three then?
Yeah. Let's just jump right into him.
All right. My number three was Earthchild.
Okay.
My number two was My Hero, and my number one was Blue Box.
Mine is exactly the same except flip Earthchild and My Hero. So it was My Hero number 3, Earthchild number 2, Blue Box number 1.
Our brains are connecting lately. It's crazy.
To be fair, there also really wasn't anything else.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this was very much the we had to push out a chapter a week.
Yeah, a lot of like God. We'll talk about it when we get there, basically. But pretty much
Yeah.
everything feels like. I mean, a couple of them don't, but a lot of them feel very fluffy, just kind of filler chapters this week.
Yeah, but we will obviously have a little special event at the end where we'll talk about the Patreon reader segment.
Yes, which is Fire Punch.
Yes. Uh, you know a manga's good when the very first page is just a giant parental advisory required logo. That's how you know you're getting into the good shit. And then you realize it's written by Fujimoto and you realize, "Oh god, what has he done?"
What has he done this time?
Yeah. But we'll get to that. So what's first?
First up is gonna be Vigilantes.
Hmm. Yeah, this was a chapter of Vigilantes, wasn't it?
Boy, we sure are still fighting that guy. Also, I think it's really funny that Endeavor is like jumping out of a helicopter at the end. Because first of all, can't you fly, you lazy fucking asshole? And second, he can't do anything like coolly. Like he's jumping out of this helicopter like a disgruntled old dad. Like
Yeah.
somehow he is still cringe despite jumping out of a helicopter.
Well, actually, about the flying, he technically doesn't have that ability yet. Because we
Oh, he
know
hasn't
that he
learned it yet.
develops it.
Okay.
Yeah, he develops it between Pro Hero and the war. Because in Pro Hero, he says he technically cannot fly, he can just not fall. And then
Mm,
in the war, he's actually flying around. So he develops it somewhere around there.
okay.
Um, but yeah, I'm not happy about this chapter introducing like a new gimmick for this fight to be prolonged
The
with
fight that's
like a
already almost a year old.
yeah. Literally the only thing I liked this chapter was Eraser telling Koichi, "Hey, by the way, the fact that you're popular is not a good thing because it's making people slow in evacuating." I thought that was neat. That's sort of that twisting tropes on its head that I like from My Hero at its best. Um, but yeah, no, we're still in this fucking fight somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say at this point. Distressed denim is a warrior style is going on my lunchbox so hard, so that's good, right?
If only the best genist in Vigilantes didn't look so creepy and strange.
I know he didn't look that bad this chapter. I felt
I don't know,
like
something
some of
about
these
him just
are.
feels wrong.
I think the fact is that he looks more flexible than Horikoshi's genus because Horikoshi's genus looks very straight and very rigid. Maybe it's that rigidity that you need in your genist.
In my peak genist.
You're very selective about our genists. But yeah, no, this was fucking nothing chapter. whatever out of 10. I don't care.
Yeah, I just can't care anymore about this fire. Are we under the agreement that All Might is most likely going to be the one that has to end this? Because they keep
Yeah,
talking about it. So now they're bringing in like every other hero for them to not help that much. It's like, man, fuck.
they're gonna fucking import heroes from America because somehow they're gonna be there faster than All Might. So it can also tie into the foreign heroes that we saw. Well, that some people saw in the third movie.
Stars and Stripes is gonna show up.
Oh fuck, you're right. She is. Now you're saying she totally. Oh fuck me. This fight is gonna take another 3 years. This fight will take longer than what the main manga has left. Jesus.
Yeah, a lot of
Why did
people
you
are saying
say
like,
that?
oh, they want the ending to match up with the main series ending. So does that mean that they're gonna be fighting this guy for the past year and for the entirety of the fight against Shigaraki and All for One?
Yeah, it's gonna be a 2-year long fight in total.
My
It's
God.
somehow gonna be the final fight of Vigilantes is gonna be about as long as the war arc in Naruto. Fucking end me. Holy shit.
Just the fight against this guy.
Oh, kill. Although I will say almost want that just so that the ratio of like the chapters in Vigilantes looks as fucked up as possible. Like imagine it takes you 100 chapters to get to the final fight, and then the final fight takes 100 other chapters. That's some absolute like that's that cringe ratio. But yeah, no,
No,
cringe out of 10.
it's
I don't
awful.
care.
Yeah, it's just awful.
Like at what point do we decide that its quote unquote imminent ending isn't a good enough reason to keep covering it? Because I mean, we kind of have nothing to say on this anymore. Every time it
Yeah,
pops
every
up.
single time it comes up, I'm like, okay.
Okay, Zen, do we want to break up with Vigilantes live on the air? Do we want to free ourselves from this?
P- Kind of, yes, but also kind of, I'm like, hey, it's really funny that this fight has gone on for an entire year, and I really want to see how long it goes. Like, it's sort of like going on those cringe Reddits where like you don't want to keep looking, but you do because you have to see what happens.
The train wreck that
Yeah.
your eyes are glued on.
Uh-huh.
Okay, fine. I guess we can. I guess we can keep reviewing Vigilantes every 2 weeks with the same
The
phrase,
same
namely
phrase, we
whatever.
don't give a shit.
End it already.
Please.
Pull the plug.
Oh God.
But
All
yeah,
right.
pull the plug out of 10 in that case.
Speaking of pull the plug out of 10, next up is Protect Me Shugomaru.
Did this man? This man just didn't want to write a chapter,
Yeah,
did he?
he just didn't want to do it this week.
I mean, to be fair, like drawing cities like that is absolutely not easy. So maybe he just really wanted to flex his architectural drawing skills, but then, yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to do with this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck?
He
What,
had
what was
10
this?
pages of a 17-page chapter purely on the building moving.
Okay, I did think that gag was actually kind of funny, not gonna lie.
I thought it was the first time, but now that I have to actually talk about the chapter, I'm like, well, what the fuck do I say?
Yeah, it's like one of those chuckle gags, you know?
Yeah, it's not that funny. It's just kind of like, nice. The only part of it
Alright.
I actually thought was pretty funny was when it was in the background of like that photo. And you see
Yeah,
it
yeah,
moving
that
in the
was pretty
background.
good.
That was pretty funny. But the rest of it is just like the building is sliding.
Oh boy, sure is still sliding. Also, could he always do that?
What, punch the shit out of the school so hard that it slides to another city?
Well, that and also like enlarge his fist.
Probably not. I imagine that's more Bugs Bunny rules.
Oh, I see. So we've finally jumped the border into Bugs Bunny territory, have
Yeah, I
we?
think we've hit Looney Tunes. Um, and then the bad guys are not Skull, they're Five Call.
Because they do the job 5 seconds after the call, which okay,
Yeah.
all right. I've never seen a series that only after 15 chapters already felt like it was out of things to do.
Yeah. Also, was it always spelled with a C?
What, S call?
Yeah.
Well, no, they kept like changing it, right? Because at the start they were like, "Oh, it's skull," and then they found out that it was Scal or Escal. So no, I think the C was there
Oh, okay.
after the first sort of revision. I don't know. I'm sure some Shugomaru lore master can tell us,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you you absolutely know there's gotta be someone out there who's like religiously invested in Shugomaru's lore. He's like, in chapter 5, they reference this one place, and I'm sure that this other reference in this other chapter meant the same place. Therefore, we can expand. I'm like, I don't even remember half these characters' names. I need someone to make lore videos on Shugomaru to keep up with this riveting plot.
Just the deep Shugomaru lore, the fucking vaults of the vaults of Shugomaru symbolism and imagery.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Honestly, this is an this is another one of those like Vigilantes where I'm like, okay, why are we still doing this? Like, are we in agreement that we're only reading this for Slash Takizawa?
Oh god, yeah, that's been the case for weeks.
Yeah, I mean, so can we give this chapter anything other than no Slash Takizawa out of
Yeah,
10?
Slash Takizawa not in it out of 10. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
All right. Moving on.
Yeah, so next up is actually the Elusive Samurai, which you did not read, so I'll talk about it with just the briefest of words. There's a full-grown man at the end that asks the 11-year-old boy, "Do you have the courage enough to come alone to my residence?"
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, well, I'm flicking through it, and oh yeah, this is giving me the wrong vibes
Yeah,
off of
the
just
vibes
sort
are
of.
atrocious. They're trying to plan an escape. Basically, the plan from last week, where they're like, "We're gonna kill the whatever." They already know it's gonna fail because the priest was like, "Yeah, my future vision is definitely gonna fail. So you guys have to
Mm-hmm.
help him escape, help his uncle escape." And so they're like planning out the escape route because they're expecting
Mm-hmm.
it to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And then they bump into this guy who's like the war god or whatever. He's like the greatest warrior ever, and he's
Mm-hmm.
also super good at escaping. And so
Mm-hmm.
our guy wants to ask him for like tips, escape
Mm-hmm.
tips,
Ah,
and
okay.
that's it. That's all that happened, really.
Okay, so he's found himself an escape mentor. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, seemingly, but also he's an enemy, so
Hmm.
yeah, conflict on
Oh,
the horizon.
okay, so looking through it, this guy doesn't seem to have any like deformity or
No, he
like
doesn't
any.
seem to have any weird body bits.
Oh God, is he the one with the massive penis? Has he finally appeared?
I
The
don't know,
chosen
because if
one.
you go to chapter 54, or not chapter 50, that's the chapter. If you go to page 11, the thing that he's reflected in gives me some uncomfortable vibes.
What? Which page?
11.
Oh God, yeah. What the fuck? Oh, oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, I'm unsettled.
What is up with jumping dicks lately? Like, I mean, okay, at the very least, Elusive Samurai has waited 54 chapters on pushing the dick button. Shugomaru did it after 8, so I
Yeah,
guess that's commendable.
I
But
guess.
but so, what would you give this chapter then?
Uh, do not ever use the phrase "very well, mysterious boy. Do you have the courage to come alone to my residence?" out of 10.
I can coincide that, like lacking any knowledge of this chapter. That seems reasonable to me.
God, it's I don't know. Elusive Samurai, dude. I'm so like, okay, it's out again every week.
Yeah, so it's sunk back into the valley it first started in.
It forced its way out for a little bit by being awesome, and then it was like, we're done.
Yeah,
We're gonna go back
that's
to
a
being
shame.
just nothing.
Well, that's a shame.
So be it. Next up is Ayashimon.
Which was pretty cool this week, I'd say.
Yeah, he crushed them all with the bikes. That was pretty cool. I like
hmm
when little useless characters get a chance to do something.
Yeah, and I like how it like used his speech to also give us a look at how Maru is doing.
hmm which is not great.
Yeah, like he's just fucking falling off a building and punching it and trying to survive. But just a lot of very cool maneuvers here. Also, like saving your fall, fucking hooking your hand into the building so hard you crack the concrete.
And then he's like, it's like the old thing that they always do in like pirate movies where they stab onto something and slide down on the knife or whatever. Except this
Mm-hmm.
time he's punching into the building with his bare ass hands.
Yeah, and I like also sort of the way he explains it. It's like anytime he sees an opportunity to fight, he just goes, "I've always wanted to try this," and then does it.
Yep.
Which that's pretty cool. I like that. That's really nice. Um, and yeah, like the fight for the little guy was really cool. The like raining motorcycles.
Yeah, and I like
That's a
his strategy because now that he knows the power, he had to get the guy to hit the ground so he could slip underneath, thus
mm-hmm,
giving himself a ceiling to work with. That was pretty
mm-hmm.
clever. I like that.
Yeah, it's actually similar to what you said. Was it last week or some other time when you said, "Oh, maybe he can use maybe something will count as a ceiling once it's flipped."
Mm-hmm.
I remember you
Yep.
saying something like
That
that.
was last week.
Ah, but time isn't real.
Nope. Nope. Time is fake. But I
I
like
mean,
that. I like this little guy doing his best.
mm-hmm. Little guys doing their best is my kind of genre. That's why. That's why we like Slash Takizawa.
That's true. It's just a little guy trying his hardest.
Yeah, just a small birthday boy. But yeah, no, I also like the little bit we get about the old woman Ayashimon disappearing because no one is afraid of her anymore. I thought that was also a nice bit of sort of I guess you could call that world building, like just
I guess so.
expanding on.
When she's like, you need to go and find some money so that you don't fade away either, because no one's afraid of me, and they're not gonna be afraid of
Mhm,
you either. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, the only thing they worship is money, which hey, that's not wrong. That's actually very very true. But yeah, no, very cool chapter. Kind of excited to see where this goes next.
I don't know. I'm still a little worried about where it's gonna go because I still have that residual like, oh, is it gonna get canceled? Terror in my
Mhm,
in my gut, but
mhm.
I hope that it survives.
Yeah, same. I mean, I feel like Ayashimon is one of those things that has so much potential with its world and also just its topic that it'd be a shame to see it go. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, I guess. Like we cannot do anything because we are too just little guys trying our best.
Just little fellas trying as best we can.
That's going on my resume.
Just a little guy.
You wouldn't reject the little guy. Come on. Come on, give me the job. You wouldn't reject a little birthday boy. Come
Little
on.
guy like me? Come
Yeah,
on.
for shame. Come on. Look at me. Barely, my feet barely reach the ground while I'm sitting here. Come on.
You know I'm the one. I'm the one you gotta hire just for that alone.
Puppy dog eyes the entire way through. Absolutely just memeing your way to employment the way it's intended. Uh, do we want to move on?
Yeah, we'll jump on to oh God, the next one is also it's Witch Watch.
Oh boy, we sure are not positive this week.
No, it's a rough week, man.
I swear to God, the funniest bit of this chapter is Witch Watch having a panel that says, "Don't underestimate how hard good comedy is." Yeah, you would know, wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
I know. The irony is thick.
Yeah, because like, wow, this was a whole bunch. I don't know. On one hand, I appreciate these sort of just chill chapters, but this one was so dialogue focused and so like hyper specific on this one. I don't know if I want to call it a joke, but this one situational funny. I don't know. It just lost me halfway through. I just really couldn't with it. I do think the
Yeah,
final. The final page is kind of cool, funny though.
Yeah, where he's
He's
got
so
like the black void in his eyes because they're so unfunny.
Mm-hmm. That's me whenever I listen to myself.
Yeah, no, I mean this was just oh my god, this was a fucking
This was
struggle.
this was kind of like the jeans chapter, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it did feel a lot like the jeans chapter. I don't know. I don't care. I'm already done
Yeah,
talking about it.
yeah. Let's move on. We don't care out of
I
10.
don't
Which
give a
watch do
shit at all
better?
out of 10. Yeah, try harder, please.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't ever underestimate how hard good comedy is out of 10.
Exactly.
Next up
You should
is.
reflect on your behavior.
That's a very good segue because next up is Mashle.
Yeah, for the big chapter 100.
Yeah.
Wow, this man got told to prolong the series and he just pulled out every shonen trope imaginable.
Yes, they were like, you cannot end this, and he's like, oh fuck.
He's like, all right, Innocent Zero, you better start having some children.
Yeah, he was like, I was gonna end it in like 3 weeks, and they're like, no, no, we need
Yeah,
another 2 years out of you.
honestly, page 2 when Mash goes, there's no end to you guys, that feels very meta.
Yeah, it does.
But also, I do genuinely think though this is cool, like the way he almost cycles through the shonen tropes.
Mm-hmm.
You have the I will hold back, and then he has like the percentages, and then they have like the part where they hold hands and the ground breaks around them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have the flurry attack. Yeah, it's just every shonen battle trope all at once, and it's kind of cool. Also, I like this guy's design.
And we're already and now at the point where Mash's new power up is not enough anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder how he wins this.
Dramatic chapter next week. Mash takes steroids.
Pulls a cream puff out of his jacket and eats it, and it's actually fucking stuffed with steroids the whole time.
Like this is my special protein puff. I got it from my grandpa. He told me to never ever use it. Even more never ever than the wristbands. But the thing is, I feel like Mashle has built a foundation where it can actually pull that shit and it comes off as really cool instead of dumb.
Yeah, I would probably like it if that's what happened, to be honest.
Oh my god, dude. His final power up is gonna be that he just becomes a carpenter. And he's just like, I will build a bridge to success. And he builds like 4 doors around his enemies and traps them inside.
They're so
Like
expertly crafted that you can't break out.
Yeah, he's like, you fool, I only use the best wood possible. Oh my god. The thing is, now that we know that this shit's gonna have to extend its lifespan quite a lot, that could totally happen. And it's actually funny. Like with Mashle, I feel like it's the one series where extending it into stupidity would kind of work.
Yeah,
Just because it's
that kind of makes me wonder if that's why they picked it. And they're like,
yeah, maybe. Although, I mean, I don't know how much Shonen Jump editorial staff cares for like, oh, will extending the series ruin its main message? Because I don't think they care about that.
yeah, what is Mashle's main message? Like, don't be racist.
I mean, it's a good message to have.
It is a good message, but I don't know how having more chapters can undermine it.
Just be less racist. Be as unracist as possible. Pretty please.
Do your best to have as little racism in you as you can.
Banish the racism from your existence by buying Mashle volumes. Hey, I can't be racist. I literally buy Mashle volumes.
I own the entire series of Mashle, Magic and Muscles. That's how you know I'm not racist.
Someone accused you of being racist for like saying slurs, and you just reply to him saying "gotcha," and it's just a picture of your Mashle collection. It's a get out of jail free card for racism. I can't believe we keep ascribing these random qualities to these mangas.
It's just what we do. It's our thing. It's our whole thing.
Especially in weeks like these where content is a little sparse.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Ugh. Do we want to move on?
Yeah.
Since I think we've made every joke possible
Yeah.
already.
I think we've
All
run
right.
out of jokes already in Mashal. Next one is gonna be not my hero. Undead Unluck. I don't know how I mixed those two things up.
Uh, yeah, that's kind of a weird mix-up. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
I don't know.
So what do we think about this new guy, Seal?
I don't know. He's weird. I thought he was gonna be like. I didn't think that Judgment was gonna be just another character to fight.
Well, I thought if it was gonna be another character, it would be like God or like an incarnation of God. But yeah, this is literally just another guy,
Yeah. It's just an Uma basically.
just a little guy, just a little lanky
A
guy.
little lanky
Um,
guy with paper blades.
yeah, but I can see this fight being really cool, considering he can like absorb other people's abilities seemingly once he has them like sealed.
Yeah.
And I also like when Andy dodges his attack on page 13. It cuts off his tits and chin.
Yep. He has to
I don't know
recreate
why.
them.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that was kind of funny that it's not just a clean dodge. But yeah, this was another like one of those. Hey, look, we're doing some cool shit in a couple of weeks chapters.
Yeah, where like it'll probably be good later, but right now it's like okay,
Yeah.
it's another little guy, the little sun on him, just like the other little guys.
Well, the thing is, I feel like this would be a chapter that I'd find really cool in any other week when there was like more energy in the magazine. But this week was just kind of very
Yeah, it was like
exhausted and
a
exhausting.
almost like a downer week. Like I'm tired, like from reading
Well,
these.
well, okay, I think our new schedule is just causing you to wake up at the crack of dawn at 10 a.m. You
Yeah,
know,
when the at sunrise at 10 a.m.
hey, don't joke about that. The poor Swedes, the poor people in Iceland.
uh, I did like the
Who,
little bit where he was like, because undead always that's how we stop undead in the other cycles or whatever is we just seal him.
mm-hmm.
And he's like, neat, but I'm gonna not lose because I'm the main character. So it'll be interesting to see
Yeah,
what he does.
yeah,
Hey,
no,
are
it's
you
pretty
getting
cool.
tired of the little girl in the medical mask that does nothing?
Um, I kind of just blend her out whenever I'm reading. Why?
I'm just curious as to why she's still here and what she actually offers in any capacity to what's going on.
Okay, you want to know my theory? My theory is that at some point in between Foucault, leaving the story, um, the author or someone realized that, oh shit, for like 100 chapters now, we've had a story about a big funny man protecting a small girl, and now the girl is gone. Will our readers survive? And I feel like she's just there to like keep the premise or the general appeal of the show the same. Because yeah, she has no purpose, right?
She
Besides
she
that.
does nothing. Yeah, she's just like my mom's in the castle. And he's like, "Okay, I'll go get your mom." And she's like, "Okay, I will also go." And then I will do nothing but be in the background of most of these action panels and sometimes scream about what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't know, it feels like she's just there to compensate for the fact that Foucault isn't there. Just to like keep so that when someone tells and in Japan, a kid tells their friends, "Hey, there's this cool manga about a zombie guy protecting a girl." It doesn't matter which volume they buy, the premise will always be true. You know,
Maybe. I don't know, man.
kind of like how Jump used to be at least incredibly like touchy about chapters of series with like very popular main characters where the main character doesn't appear in that chapter. You know
Mhm.
how a lot of Dragon Ball chapters will have like 2 panels of Goku in it just to have him in it, even if like the action that's there is very much removed from where he is. Although, admittedly, that's not a lot of Dragon Ball.
Well, yeah.
But still, I mean that did used to be a phenomenon, and this feels kind of similar, where it's like, oh, we just got to keep like the premise intact, no matter how much the story actually accommodates for it. Because yeah, I mean, you're right, she doesn't do anything, but I don't really mind. As I said, I just kind of like blend her out when I'm reading. I'm just there looking at Andy, going, yes, yes,
Yeah, I just keep
bleed.
seeing like every time I'll look at her, I'll suddenly see her in a panel, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like the one where he's dodging and it cuts his torso off. She's like there, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you here?
I mean, maybe it's also just to make the fights more interesting as to that Andy has to actually like dodge and not he can't just tank everything because he's like holding her and shit. Because I mean, if she wasn't there, he could probably literally just tank every hit
Yeah, I guess
and
so.
just
That's
be like,
true.
"Oh, I'm bleeding. Joke's on you. My blood is gonna turn into a shadow clone." Like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
broke my bones. Every bone is gonna be a separate Andy now, but small." Like it just has this tiny army of bone Andys. I wouldn't be surprised at this point anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just whenever Andy does something, I'm kind of just like, yeah, that's that. Yeah,
Yeah, he can do
yeah,
that.
he could do that.
Why shouldn't he?
Of course he can.
Yeah, why shouldn't he? Um, but yeah, no, Undead Unluck was pretty okay this week.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, I think honestly, like it's an okay chapter, right? It's really just that this week is so low energy, it's hard to get excited about anything. I feel like.
Yeah, there's no real like hype chapter this week, and there's a lot of either nothing chapters or pain chapters, which we'll get to later.
Yeah, I mean, is this just what happens when Gege forsakes us?
I think so. Yeah, when Akutami takes a break, all of a sudden we don't have any raw hype.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The best shit I read for this show wasn't even weekly, because Fire Punch is really good in my opinion.
Yeah, it was something.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
All right,
Um,
that means next up is Akane-Banashi.
which honestly I actually really liked. I thought it was. I like it when manga takes its time to just show a good, mature interaction, where it's just like, here's what I think, here's what you think. I accept or don't accept what you're saying, but let's communicate, let's be cooperative. I thought that was neat, that the mom was also like a lot more understanding than the guy expected.
Yeah, I like how he thought that obviously she must have been hiding it, and she was like, "Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Why would I
I
lie
also like
about that?"
I also like the mom's justification that she's like, I can't be mad at my husband and her trying to be rakugoka because I'm literally a beautician.
Yeah,
None of us have none of us have traditionally quote unquote real jobs. So, what can I say? Which I thought that was actually really nice. Like it makes me like the mom quite a lot that she has that sort of self-awareness. Um but yeah, aside from that, this was a lot of talking and a lot of like reiterating like the hierarchy of Rakugoka.
yeah. There's a
Um,
lot of like, "Hey, if you just in case you don't know, I wonder if they've been listening when we've been like, I don't know anything about this." They've been like, "Oh God, nobody knows
mhm.
anything about this."
They're like, oh fuck, these filthy Westerners. They don't understand what I'm saying.
They have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah. Also, I find it so funny, and this is just me being an absolute dickhead, but I find it so funny that we get a like double spread at the end, introducing the guys,
The
and
gang.
it's like yet again, it's like this typical like shonen panel. Like you have the cool and nice guy, you have the cool and mean guy, you have the bookworm, and you have the dedicated guy, and I'm just sitting there like all of this for theater class.
It reminds me of the chapter of Witch Watch where they meet the student council and they're all just like insane tropes.
Hmm.
That's exactly what these four remind me of.
Yeah, no, that, and also as I said, for me it's just like it's so funny seeing like such a like squad up panel for what essentially amounts to theater class.
Yeah, of like you're now the lowest level performer in this
Yeah,
niche theater.
yeah, which it reminds me of it's just one of those things where I'm like, is it that serious that we need to get a panel like this? It's like a Blue Lock, the football or soccer manga, where one guy holds like an incredibly aggressive speech about how him scoring a goal is the same as like fertilizing a fetus. Oh, I take it you've never seen a Blue Lock panel, have you?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, it's terrible, but it's so funny. It's like because like it's middle school football, and then I've never read it. I've only experienced it through like little bits of peeking into it. But there's one section of the story where they're like, oh, we need a new like player, one that has like immense power to kick the ball. And then they're like, we have to use his power. And then it cuts to like the panel of like this 12-year-old kid who's like locked up like like a fucking criminal, like in a straitjacket and like guns pointing at him, and they're like, we have to use his super football ability. And they put him in jail because he was too good at football. That's the dumbest shit in existence, but it's so funny. Yeah, Blue Lock also has the dubious honor of being translated by a group of fans who seem to be just so edgy with what they choose to like how they choose to word things. So the translations are also like full of slurs and shit,
Oh God.
like no reason. Yeah, and a lot of English mistakes as well. There's like a very famous panel from it where like one of the like a fairly important guy that is like all about his like strength and power and he wants to be the king, and he realizes that he is a lot weaker than he thought. Again, this is all about football, by the way. And like the dramatic panel of him like sinking to the ground, the speech bubble says, I'm wasn't the king. Because they couldn't fucking translate it properly.
Oh God, dude.
Yeah, I hope I didn't upset the 3 Blue Lock fans that we have.
There's definitely gonna be someone that
Oh,
writes like an
dude.
angry paragraph about how Blue Lock is way better than Jujutsu Kaisen or something.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem with talking about anything online, because since you're casting such a wide net into the internet, uh, there's a high chance you're gonna offend somebody whenever you talk shit about any piece of media, because everything is someone's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone looked at the fertilization monologue in Blue Lock and thought, "I feel so seen." I don't necessarily want to talk to that person, but they probably exist.
I feel so seen. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
like when he said my ball is the sperm and the goal is the ovary, I felt that. And I'm like, no, I don't want you to feel that.
Stop feeling that.
Stop feeling it, please. Also, I
uh,
can't believe an unrelated non-shonen jump manga just catches a stray here for no reason. But yeah, we're talking about Akane-Banashi. Do we have anything else to say?
no, clearly no.
Clearly not. Fertilization out of 10. Moving on.
Oh God. So we're in top threes already now.
All right. What's first?
So first up is Earthchild.
Dude, I really hope this shit doesn't get canceled. This is so good.
Yeah, I'm afraid for it though. I feel like it's so like not normal
Mm-hmm.
that I feel like the target audience is gonna be like, what am I looking at here? No
Yeah,
there's no Naruto speech in this, and then it's
yeah,
gonna
true.
get canceled.
But honestly, if it does get canceled, I don't think it'll hit me as hard as some other series, just because I feel like every little chapter so far has been almost like a mini story
Yeah, it
leading up to
does.
something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like if it ends prematurely, I still feel like we'll have gotten something good out of it, at least if it continues sort of this trend of how it does storytelling. But yeah, no, wow, this was quite emotional, with him like realizing that his parenting has only made his life easier, not the child's.
Yeah, and the child is hating it.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like also I do like how the problem is that he's sleep deprived and has no energy, and it's like depicted as like, oh, this is like the result of his powers, and I'm like, no, that's just what being a
Yeah,
parent is
you just have a
like.
baby.
Yeah, like the superpowers are not the problem. The problem is having kids.
That's true. But yeah, I liked the panels where he comes to the realization when he's looking through the photos that the baby's not happy in the photos. I was
Hmm.
like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, and I also liked sort of the flashback with his to be wife. Which, dear God, I'm so ridiculously invested in his relationship with her, despite having seen like only snippets throughout 4 chapters of it. This is such a strong series to me.
Oh, I know. I love this romance. It's so cute.
Yeah, it's
Ah,
just warm and
she's
nice.
fucking space metal, and I'm still like, yeah, go King.
Go save your wife and her humongous ass.
You can do it,
Absolutely
King.
do that. Absolute Chad. Absolute master. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see where this goes. Um it does seem, and knock on wood, it does seem that the main character is the dad, which I find super cool. I think there's just so few shonen manga that have adult protagonists. And so I am, oh, as you said, I'm a bit wary as well that this is, a little too different, but I'm also happy that this attempt is being made, basically.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mhm.
I
So
also
yeah,
think it's really funny that the last panel is him writing his will, because
yeah, because he's gonna let him use his
yeah,
abilities to his fullest extent.
mm-hmm.
I mean, understandable if the baby's like crushing you to the ceiling every day for an hour. That must be rough.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Also, I like the little tiny. Their solution is like baby-sized shackles.
Yeah.
These little tiny shackles.
If you look on page 18, just how small they
Yeah,
are.
they're like in his fucking fingertip.
Like baby arms aren't that thin, right? Like a baby's arm isn't as thick as my thumb. That's just stylization. I cannot come to terms with the fact that human babies are that small. That
I
doesn't
don't
seem
know.
right.
That does seem a little too small.
I mean, I think we said it last week as well. Like the baby's just so funnily stylized as well, like the eyes especially.
Mm-hmm.
Just looks like a bad chibi anime character.
It
Fucking
does.
Clanad looking here. Also page 17. Mwah. Wonderful. With the fireworks.
Oh yeah.
Super good.
Oh yeah. That's good stuff right there.
Yeah. Um but yeah, also not a whole lot to say, just the warm fuzzies.
Yeah,
And I'm
that
excited
that
to
was
see what
cute.
happens.
Much
Yeah.
cuteness out of 10.
Much cuteness out of 10. All right. What's next?
Next up is My Hero.
This was a cool chapter.
Yeah, it was alright. I think it's
Horikoshi.
funny that they have an entire stock of limbs for Mirko.
Yes, that was cool. And I also like her dynamic with Bakugo a lot. Where they're like both just
Abrasive assholes.
yeah, they're both like fucking fighting each other and then they turn on Genus. That's really funny. And also I love whenever I see Horikoshi do this shit with like hands and fingers, I think back to that old author comment where he said, "I've noticed a lot of people struggle with hands, so I've decided to keep drawing them." I'm like, "You bastard, you go." Um but yeah, what a gross ability.
Yeah, it's really nasty. The fucking page where there's just hands everywhere and like page 6, fucking gross.
Yeah, he's just a massive monster. But I do like how that factors into their like explanation as to why they can't just warp Deku. Like, because I did think, okay, how are they gonna get around that possible pitfall? Because clearly, Deku got nabbed, so he's not just get warped immediately. So Horikoshi needs to kind of, you know, cover his ass for that. And I feel like the solution they come up with is actually pretty cool, where it's like, if he can actually propagate decay through all of those hands, we are so fucked the moment he gets decay back. So yeah, no, I really like that. Um, Also, wait, what's this chapter now called in the official translation?
The title?
Inflation. Yeah.
Inflation.
What? Why is it called inflation?
Because the rate of hands is growing exponentially, thereby reducing the value of each individual hand.
All right, Zen. So, what's the value of an individual hand?
I don't know. I'm not an
What if I?
economist, all right? Ask ask all for one.
Mr. All for One, if I chop off my hand and give it to you, how much money do you owe me in return? How much Bitcoin is this worth? Like, that's such a weird title. And also, I mean, am I to believe that him growing the fingers is like the result of quirk singularity, and it isn't, because they say it's not a quirk. So is it just what's going to happen when people get more complicated quirks? Their body's just going to blow up into a giant finger monster?
Apparently.
They should rename the singularity into the Great Fingering. Hey. Also, we were right last week about where Deku is. It's Gang Orca's little resort.
His little aquarium.
I find that so funny. He's just like, so I'm fish, so therefore I must house fish.
I must live the fish life forever.
Yeah.
Also,
But it's cool.
I think it's really funny that Mirko's arm is like crazy. It looks like Barrett's arm from Final Fantasy VII. It looks like a fucking gun, and then her foot is just like a spatula.
Yeah, which is funny considering that you would think she would want her foot to be more beefed up, considering she's the fight bunny.
Yeah, and she does all the kicks and everything.
Yeah.
And her foot is just like a fucking spatula.
Yeah, I mean it's literally just the type of prosthetic we give athletes nowadays. Like no fancy tech. And then yeah, her arm is just like this monster fist. But yeah, no, I like the plan that they have here. I am cautiously interested to see where this stuff with Toga is going.
Yeah, I like how shitty Danger Sense is. Boy, what an awful power that only works if someone like what if like a piano falls off a building and Deku's walking underneath it? Is Danger Sense not going to go off because the piano has no malicious intent?
Ah, dude, you've never met a piano. They all have malicious intent. You know why? It's instilled to them by their makers, who are the most malicious people in existence. Musicians.
That's why we don't read Piss 6 anymore.
Dude, I have never met a musician who wasn't also unreasonably angry and irritable. I swear to God, we had like a big, our like high school was big with music because it was like a historical thing that it always did. And I swear to God, every single person who went into music and to then, continue to get into music degrees are like irritable as fuck for like no reason. The choir master, because I was a choir boy back in high school because I thought I could sing. Spoiler alert, I can't. But I was in the choir for a while, and the choir guy, like the teacher there, that must be like top 10 rudest people I've met in my life. And I've been to Florida, like it's yeah. Musicians are evil, and therefore all instruments hold malicious intent. Thus, we can calculate that Danger Sense would activate if a piano were to fall on Deku. Thank you for watching my power scaling video. See you next week.
We've done it. Yeah, we figured it out.
We've power scaled Danger Sense. But yeah, Danger Sense just kind of seems like a shittier version of Spidey Sense.
Yeah, it's like Spidey Sense if Spidey Sense sucked. Is what Danger Sense is.
Danger Sense is Spidey Sense if Spidey Sense was ridiculously picky.
Yeah, like what do you mean it doesn't register as danger because it's affectionate? She's got a knife, bro. She's trying to stab you to death with it. What do you mean?
She's trying to reach his heart, bro. Don't be so mean.
It's just so weird. Like, all I can think of now is like silly Roadrunner-esque situations in which Danger Sense would not go off because it's not malicious.
If Deku was like running and he saw like a tunnel before his face, he would run into it, not realizing that it's just a painting of a tunnel.
Yeah, Danger Sense wouldn't warn him that he's about to ram into a wall because it's just there's no malicious intent behind the paint.
So can we then definitively say, in terms of power scaling, that Deku would lose to the Roadrunner from Looney Tunes?
He would also lose to Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, Wile E. Coyote greater than Deku.
Yeah, I think we've put that together at this point.
Okay, wait. So is there anyone who has like? Okay, so the Roadrunner has beaten Wile E. Coyote, and Wile E. Coyote could beat Deku. So Roadrunner greater than Deku. Is there anyone who's beaten Roadrunner?
No, Roadrunner I think is undefeated.
Undefeated. Okay. Is there anyone else who has beaten Wile E. Coyote?
Most people beat Wile E.
Uh,
Coyote.
give me an example.
I don't
Give me
know
the
that. I
Looney
don't.
Tunes
Hang on.
score.
I gotta look it up now because now I'm actually curious.
What are you gonna Google? Are you gonna Google people who've beaten Wile E. Coyote?
Wile E. Coyote did not ever manage to outsmart the Roadrunner, but did find a way to cheat death in over 341 incidents of surviving otherwise fatal wounds.
Wait a minute. So Wile E. Coyote greater than death? Oh, I mean, wow. You know when they put fictional universes against each other, I cannot fucking believe that we've just definitively proven that the Looney Tunes universe would win out against My Hero.
Oh, easily free.
Free, like, oh my god, like if you shoot Deku, he's dead. He's walking over the Rainbow Bridge. Wile E. Coyote comes back in 20 minutes. He's back after the ad break.
Oh my god.
What? This opens up so many things. Like, would All for One be able to fight against Yosemite Sam?
Yosemite?
Yeah, Yosemite, whatever. I watched Looney Tunes in Italian. Don't bully me. That was the only. We only had Italian VHS of Looney Tunes. I did not hear Bugs Bunny's English voice until I was well into adulthood. Like, oh my god. So that means Bugs Bunny could beat Mirko.
Oh yeah, easily. Bugs Bunny solos Shigaraki for sure.
Oh, dude, yeah, he would crumble to dust and then like come out of the ground unharmed and be like, "What's up, doc?"
Yeah, and then he would like dress up like a girl or something, and Shigaraki would fall in love, and then he would hit him really hard with something, and that would be
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Fuck, man. Horikoshi should have not. Horikoshi should have chosen to rip off Looney Tunes instead of ripping off Marvel. That would have been.
Oh my god, I would read that.
Okay, but to get back on topic, at least for a little bit. So do we think this is gonna be the big love confession fight? Because, what was it? Next week, My Hero has the cover, and it's a Deku and Uraraka cover. We know that already. We have Toga, who's like, "Oh, be my boyfriend." Deku and Uraraka just recently had a chapter where they were like, "Hey, will we say it? Will we not?" And it's White Day soon in Japan, which is like a second Valentine's Day essentially. It's like and we are in the final arc, so this is where like the big boy stuff has to happen. So are we feeling a love confession here?
Probably, but I think it would be really funny if Deku was like, "Okay, yes, as long as I can leave," and then he just bounces and just does it right in front of Uraraka and leaves.
Yeah. She's like, "Deku, I love you," and Deku's like, "Okay," and just warps
Okay,
away.
gotta go, and he just blinks away.
No, he doesn't even say, like, she says "I love you," and he just looks at her and like slightly twitches with one of his eyelids and then just disappears. Next time we see them together is in the epilogue where they have married and have 5 kids.
5 children, all of them look like tiny versions of one of the 2 of them.
Yeah, and the oldest one is rowdy and wants to be a hero and is called Beku. And the chapter concludes with, "Stay tuned for a big announcement." I would actually mass delete all my My Hero videos at once if that happened.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die if they make a sequel series about all of their children, and just like all the other kids awkwardly paired off to have weird kids.
Yeah, like, okay, say what you will about Naruto, but by the time like Naruto ended and they were like, "Oh yeah, Naruto has had kids," I could believe that Naruto would have fucked, right? Like he seemed like the kind of guy who could have grasped the concept of procreation. Deku seems like he's not even past like middle school biology, let alone, kids.
I guess they assume that they'll just figure it out in the time skip. They'll
They're all
time
just
skip us
gonna
30 years. It's like
they're they're all just gonna be happily married in exclusively heterosexual couples,
mhm.
and they will all have procreated like the Lord intended.
They will all have had children roughly the same time, so that they're all the same age.
Mm-hmm.
That way they can all go to school together. And they'll be taught again by like Aizawa again. And
Yeah.
he'll have a little monologue that's like, not again.
Oh no. The final chapter of My Hero is literally just a re-release of the final chapter of Naruto, but with the faces pasted over. It's because I don't know if anyone of you remembers this or knows this, but the final chapter of Naruto was a full chapter of color pages when it released. And they're just gonna do that again, but Naruto's hair is green. God, no, I would hate if My Hero is one of those series where I don't want an end of series time skip. And if they do it, I just want it to be like Deku saving someone. I do not want Deku
there's
to
gonna
have
be a
kids.
time skip, and it's gonna be Deku saving someone, but he's gonna look exactly like he does now, and then they're gonna give you the reveal that it's his son saving someone.
Uh,
And then the joke is gonna be that Deku never became the greatest hero, but actually his and Uraraka's kid did through the power of coming together and banging. They made the
through
greatest hero.
the power of heterosexual intercourse. Look,
Heteronormativity.
yeah. Through the power of erasing homosexuality and the potential of anything but heterosexuality, we have finally achieved global peace.
Yeah, All Might and Night Eye were too gay. That's why he couldn't get it done.
Oh no. The final panel of the series is just Kirishima all alone with like a text box that says, "See kids, don't like boys if you're a boy."
No, he's totally gonna get paired off with Mina, and they're gonna have like
Oh
a
yeah.
a little boy that looks like him but is also pink.
Okay. So here's the $1,000,000 question. Mineta.
I knew that was what you were gonna say.
NGL, I kind of want Mineta to be like ridiculously handsome when he's grown up and to have like a massive like female fan club, but then he's the actual only gay character in My Hero. Because you remember the fucking Mineta is bisexual shit?
Yeah, when he like told Deku he loved him or something. Yeah.
Like, oh, actually, I think that would genuinely be one of the best ways to end Mineta's story.
Disgusting pervert overcompensating for the fact that he doesn't want anyone to know that he's gay.
Well, when you put it like that, that doesn't sound nearly as good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that good, does it?
Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, if you were someone who actually cared about expanding side characters, you could do something like, oh, I don't know. I have always seen like other people pursue women, and I have like kind of felt like it was my like not responsibility. Like I had to do it in order to be a worthwhile man, in order to validate my masculinity, and I overdid it because I didn't really know what to do with it. And over the years, I've realized that that's not who I am. That who I am is someone who's much more comfortable, liking guys. And that was something that I was trying to run. Like you could do anything with that, but of course that fucking won't happen.
Well, yeah, we're talking
Not
about Kohei Horikoshi. I don't think he remembers that character exists.
we're talking about Kohei Horikoshi in Weekly Shonen Jump, a series that told like a magazine that told illustrious, award-winning Hirohiko Araki, you have too many women in your manga. Like, cut that shit out.
Fewer women, yeah. We
Yeah.
we need more balls in this manga ASAP.
We need more dicks in here immediately. Hey, maybe they're not that opposed to homosexuality then, I guess. I mean, how the fuck are you gonna be like a heteronormative bigot when you ran the gayest fucking manga in in existence for years, right? Like, okay, this is like a call out to half the JoJo fandom. If you look at JoJo and think of anything else other than hot men having hot sex, I'm sorry, you're missing the point. Like, JoJo isn't about overcoming fate. It's not about overcoming evil. It's about hot men hanging out together. That's what JoJo is, and I do not care. My like hour-long video on Golden Wind where I talk about all this fucking nonsense, like, oh, it's about destiny and fate. Yeah, fuck that video. Deleting it right now. It's about men having incredibly passionate bonds.
It kind of is.
I mean, yes, that's the thing is, nothing I just said is technically wrong.
Yeah, you're not entirely wrong.
Okay, so do we want to move on from My Hero since we've already started talking about gay sex?
Yeah, I guess that's probably the good stopping point.
Yeah.
So then that gives us the finale for this week, which is Blue Box. The sheer amount of pain I'm in is indescribable.
You see, good segue. This is why as a man, why are you as a man interested in women? Because this is what's gonna happen.
This is why heteronormativity is bad. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Why are you as a man invested in three-way relationships where two of the participants are women? That's two women too many. Okay. That last one actually kind of sounded bad. I take it back.
Shonen Jump would be thrilled.
Oh, dude. No, Shonen Jump loves girls as long as their secondary character is wearing short skirts.
That's true.
And even better if they're slightly underage. What? Anyway, God, this chapter hurts.
Yes.
Like, I thought it was kind of sweet until the very last panel or the last page.
When
double
she's
page
standing there.
Yeah, when I'm like, oh shit, she saw that.
Mm-hmm. Which
She's like,
which we have both called on separate occasions happening like 3 or 4 times prior to this
mm-hmm.
moment.
The thing is, I was so happy that this series was actually going to like that. You know, she was actually that was actually talking to Taiki about how, oh, I'm in love with you and I can't change that. And I can't. It's just how it is, and you need to kind of figure out what to do about it because I am always going to like feel like I want to be closer to you, and you ought to know that. And I thought, wow, that's such a like good way of handling that. That's such a like it's such a non-toxic way of doing a three-way romance. Because I think last week we Doom posted about how, oh no, he's definitely gonna overhear, or she's gonna say it in a way where it isn't clear what she means.
Mm-hmm.
But no, she's just straight up, yeah, I'm in love with you. Deal with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was so good to see a mature, like healthy thing happening where he's also like re-examining that, obviously like being a little flustered, which understandable, right? And then that final double page spread hits and you're like, oh god, you remember what manga you're reading.
Yeah, you remember that the pain was inevitable.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. Like it's just not great in the best way, essentially.
Yeah, no,
And
it's fantastic, but also I'm dying.
yeah, I like also how we get a repeat shot of Chinatsu missing her shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
the symbolism is powerful.
the symbolism is crushing. You even get a shot of her like friendship bracelet breaking.
Yeah, her
On
little wish
page.
bracelet. Yeah.
Yeah. Dear God. And Taiki is just confused as ever. Contemplating if
like fuck, this is the worst, dude. I
yeah,
hate this manga. I hate it.
It's because the thing is, right? There's no winning. because like obviously cannot he obviously cannot really just mend things with Chinatsu now, which I think is what he wants, knowing him. But also
Probably.
he but also if he decides to choose Hina and then Hina finds out that Chinatsu like rejected him, she's gonna feel like second choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then Taiki, why are you as a man liking women?
Why
Why
are
are you
you,
making
as a
me
man,
suffer?
invested in two different women?
Yes. And it could be two strong, muscular guys named Jonathan and Joseph. Can I interest you in the word of our Lord and Savior, Jotaro Kujo, and his 7-foot physique? Praise the teachings of our Lord. His bicep is bigger than my head. Uh,
Okay, so now here's the question, right? Like, what? Where do we go from here?
the train is only going one direction, and it's Pain Town.
Because, like, Chinatsu's already said that she's not good at talking about this kind of stuff. So I don't see her going up to him and being like, hey. So, like, are they just gonna, like, have a whole chapter of her awkwardly avoiding him?
You know what? It would be in character for this manga.
It would be, and it would make me incredibly sad and in more pain.
It would make me feel like my heart was a sheet of paper and it was like slowly crumpling, like slowly getting
Getting
smaller
balled
and
up.
yeah, like very slowly though, not like in one bit. But that's what that would make me feel. Like I'm just thinking about it and I'm feeling the first folds, you know?
It's slowly getting origamied right now.
Yeah. Ah, dude, like I don't know because this almost feels like such a big step that we might be moving towards like either an ending or like a big change for Blue Box. Because like now that the L word has been uttered and understood by all three characters,
Yeah, you can't
one way
take
or
it back.
another, yeah, now that's irrevocably. I mean, okay, I shouldn't say that. There are plenty of romance stories where they say it and then nothing changes, where they just pretend that everyone is just coping. But I kind of feel like Blue Box is not that series, you know?
Yeah, I mean they haven't really. We've called out a few tropes we expected to happen, and so far they haven't.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. All I know is it
Yeah.
hurts.
I mean, that, but also I'm proud of Hina. I like the way she's handled it. Where she's like, look, this is how I feel. I can't do anything about it. And I think that you, as your own person, deserve to know and like make your own decision what you think about it. Um, yeah, I said it in the Akane-Banashi segment as well. I just like seeing people in shonen manga act like reasonable human beings
Mm-hmm.
who are just like solution oriented. Like they're making choices that they seem to think would solve the problem, as opposed to making choices just for drama.
Right. That
Um,
just to cause issue, basically.
yeah, just to like help the author tell a dramatic story. So yeah, no, I'm invested and in pain, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll be interested to see what happens next. That's my verdict.
All right, that's fair. I'm right there with you. Ow,
Ow out of 10.
ow. All right.
So is it time for the patron
It
segment?
is. It is time for the Patreon reader segment. Which is Fire Punch.
All right, you're the one who hasn't read it before. What are your thoughts?
What the fuck is all of this?
Yeah, Fujimoto do be like that.
He really do be, but even in more so than Chainsaw Man.
Well, yeah, because this was earlier than Chainsaw Man, and done in a magazine that had no like age gating, if I remember correctly. So he could just do whatever he wanted, which I would say it shows that he was not exactly restrained by anything.
Yeah. Uh.
Like, dear God, where do we even start? So Fire Punch is basically if My Hero's quirk thing was paired with a horrible apocalypse in which people had to like do terrible shit to survive. And that's something I've always like appreciated about it, even though like it is upsetting. Like I read it, when I reread it earlier today, I did genuinely like take a break from it and just sort of step away because just it is upsetting to read.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot
Yeah.
all at once.
Yeah, but I do genuinely appreciate that aspect of the world where it's not like, oh, everyone's got superpowers and they do shit. It's like, no, people got superpowers and immediately humanity did what it does best, which is to segregate and to deem one group of people uh as something functional rather than human. Um and so I just like that we get that aspect so early on. Like if there's one thing that Fire Punch does really well, it's selling you on just how bad things are,
Yes.
right? Like how in the pits all of humanity is after the ice witch froze the earth basically.
Yeah, it's something for sure.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any thoughts, or are you just sort of shocked at what you
I'm
just
just sort of
read?
like, man, what the fuck? Well, also, I can't tell if I missed some chapters because I'm reading it on like a funky illicit website,
Oh, okay.
and it kind of jumps around, but I can't tell if that is just Fujimoto or if
Hmm.
it's actually like chapters are not labeled properly or something. I don't know. Because it seems
Well,
very so disjointed that when I was reading it, I was almost having trouble being like, "Wait, what?"
it does have that, but if you go to chapter 5, what's the last image of chapter
The
5?
last image of chapter 5 is his sister being
No,
alive.
in that case, you read everything in the right order because that is the end of chapter 5.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it is definitely a bit difficult to keep up with it because it changes time and location fairly often. But I think, I mean, it as a series has as a whole a bit of a different relationship to time because it takes, I don't know if this was even mentioned the 5 chapters you've read, or if it's in, because I've reread a bit of the series while I was waiting for Zen to come online, and it takes place like crazy far into the future because of how long Agni ends up spending just trying to like acclimate to the fact that he's constantly on fire. Which, yeah, what did you think about that? Like, were you spoiled that that's how he gets the fire shit?
I wasn't spoiled as to like how he gets the ability.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I was spoiled. I was like I knew that that was why he had fire powers was that he was just on fire all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Which what the fuck, basically.
Yeah, I just think that's it's such a Fujimoto thing to do. Like, oh, I gotta have a guy who has fire powers. How do I get him into my story? Oh, I know. It's a guy who can regenerate endlessly and he's just on fire forever. Like that's Tatsuki Fujimoto right there.
Yeah, I mean
The,
it sure is.
the absolute fucking nonsense of Fujimoto. But yeah, no, I think Fire Punch is very much worth continuing because it just goes like it stays kind of crass, but these first chapters definitely suffer from that. Oh God, new series, I need to impress people, and in this sense, he tried to impress people by being quite shocking right off the bat. Like it's kind of stays like that, but it also becomes less like extreme. I want to say, um, and it becomes much more sort of about Agni's mental state and like why he does what he does. And so from that perspective, I can definitely recommend like continuing it on.
All
If you
right,
were,
yeah, I'll probably keep going.
yeah, I mean it's short, right? Like it's 85 chapters. It's not. It's pretty much the exact same length as Chainsaw Man Part One, actually. Like it's very similar.
Okay, that's
Uh,
not too long.
yeah. Also, I don't know how you feel about it, but I think I might prefer this art style over Chainsaw Man's.
Um, I'm not sure.
Although honestly, it might just be because uh, I love seeing mangaka try and draw fire, and there's just so much of it in Fire Punch,
Yeah.
so that automatically makes me
Okay, that's fair.
prone to liking it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you have anything else sort of to say on it?
Not really. I mean, it, it's Fujimoto, very Fujimoto,
Mm-hmm.
immensely so.
Mm-hmm.
But I think reading the first five, I struggled so much with the weird like flow of it. It
Mm-hmm.
just feels so disjointed that I would pick up a new chapter and be like, "What the fuck? Wait, what?" And then I would go
Mm-hmm.
back to the last one and be like, "That's where I am now, from this to here." That I
Uh-huh.
almost had some trouble following along with it. I do like the art, especially um, Agni. I think he looks cool as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I also do like just the fact that the whole world is ice and his he's on fire all the time. I don't know why I find that
Mm-hmm.
funny. Um, and I kind of like his little, I don't know, is it like sidekick that he gets?
Oh, Sun.
Yeah, because there's like I really like having eating sugar, and he's like, yeah, right, little fuck. I like his like not interested at all in them except for like a minute, and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
don't don't kill my little buddy, and then he's right back to being like, you fucking get out of here.
Yeah, well, the thing with Agni also, I don't remember if it comes up already. Um no, I think it does come up. The thing with Agni is that he has to keep walking because if he sits down and stops, he has nothing to like focus on, and then the pain starts like overwhelming him.
Yeah, they do talk about it. Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. So for him, it's like it's agony to not be moving. Oh yeah, there it is. I'm just flicking through it again, chapter 3.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, like I can definitely recommend it also because it starts off as this sort of kind of generic revenge plot thingy where he's like, oh yeah, I gotta kill Soma, but it gets so much more complicated. Like it is a good, well done revenge plot in my opinion, with like
Okay.
a lot of twists and turns that make it sort of difficult also for Agni to like try and figure out, okay, what do I actually want and what can I do that is actually useful as opposed to just lashing out. Um, like if anything, I think Fire Punch's biggest issue that people tend to have with it, besides of course, the very crass shit that comes up occasionally, um, is the fact that the ending is, if I remember correctly, kind of sudden. Like I haven't reread all of it yet. I probably will because I've just gotten back into it. But the ending is considered somewhat sudden.
That does not
So
surprise me because there's so many times where some shit happens and I'm immediately like, what the fuck? Like, how did we get here? So it doesn't surprise me that the ending would be sudden.
yeah, I mean, basically, Fire Punch, to anyone who has never laid eyes upon it, imagine it as Tatsuki Fujimoto, author of Chainsaw Man, being given just free reign on everything, on every part of it. That's Fire Punch. That's what you get when Fujimoto has to answer to absolutely no one. Uh, so you be the judge of if that's something you want to check out or not. But no, I was happy that it actually won the poll because I do think Fire Punch is actually worth reading. I think it's quite good. As I said, I might be biased because I love the way Agni is drawn, but still.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
I feel like it wasn't to the point where it was like, it's just so crass that it's shocking or anything like that. I think the biggest thing that I had trouble with, maybe it was just stopping at 5 chapters. I don't know, because like the first half of it was the story of them when they were kids, and then we
mm-hmm,
just skipped to like right in the middle of him just being a fire guy and doing shit like out of
mm-hmm,
nowhere. Uh, and I was like, what? And I don't think I had enough time to like get into the what was happening then either, because it was like right in the center. It split into like two different stories that felt so disjointed from one another that in my head I'm
Mhm.
like, what did I read?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of does that a few more times where it's like it sets up a certain plot and then just hard cuts to a different plot. Um, but I feel like over time you kind of get used to it, and also it becomes one of the strengths of the series because it really is just Fujimoto's unpredictability, like just at its core, at its most base core and unhinged. So if nothing else, it's always quite unpredictable. Trying to figure out what's going to happen next, which kind of keeps you on your toes on your first read through. And honestly, even on the second read through, I didn't remember all the twists and turns this story took. So even revisiting it, I was like, "What the fuck? I don't remember this."
Okay. Well, yeah,
um,
I'll have to keep going and see if I can settle in with the pacing a little bit better.
oh yeah, I mean, if you don't, that's kind of bad because I don't think this will ever get an anime. You know,
Oh no,
it's
no.
been
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's been years. It's really crass. And also, can you fucking imagine having to animate the main character being on fire all the time?
Constantly? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen.
You'd have you pretty much would have to CG it, which, is usually not a great option for these sorts of things. But yeah, I mean, does that conclude our reader segment?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're good to go in and say goodbye, as it were.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And
Well,
I don't have any news. Do you have any news?
news. No, not particularly.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
guess this is news far off in the future, but what do you got a cool thing going on at the beginning of April?
oh yeah, well, in April, the Zen will be completely alone one week because I'm invited to the screening of Jujutsu Kaisen Zero here in Switzerland since I helped promote it.
Which is fucking
Uh,
cool.
yeah, no, I'm really excited. I've never watched an anime film locally because I just didn't think that it was happening. So, yeah, now we might actually finally get some movies. Finally, after the illustrious like combo of getting Spirited Away in the 90s and then the third My Hero movie and then Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, maybe we can expand the library a little.
You don't need anything other than Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. You're fine after that.
I mean, it made like 7 quintillion bucks in Japan already.
Yep.
God, that's the thing I'm kind of worried about with Jujutsu. It's that are they just gonna keep like making movies now that they saw how fucking good they work? Um,
I don't know. I
or
guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, or maybe it'll feed into like a larger movement where they're gonna start making canon movies based off of Shonen Jump mangas because the two best-selling movies in Japan are Demon Slayer, which is a canon anime movie, and Jujutsu Kaisen, which is a canon anime movie. So, yeah, I guess we'll see how that affects the industry.
Yeah, that'll be curious to follow. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, the only thing I can say is that there's definitely gonna be a fourth and a fifth and a sixth and a seventh My Hero movie, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Nope, that's a fate you will have to suffer.
Yeah. Oh God. Deku's gonna have kids, and their story is gonna continue through movies only. Uh, the
The
final
Beku
arc,
movie series.
the final arc of My Hero when it's getting animated, it's gonna like look terrible because they're at the same time gonna make the first Beku movie,
The first Beku movie.
the Biku, fucking Biku and Buraraka.
Bararaka.
Enter idol Ball Might. Uh, all right. Do we wrap for today
I
then?
think we do. Thank you
All
everybody
right.
for tuning in to another episode of Shonen and Chill, and we will see you guys next time.
All right, fellas. Take care. Bye bye.